Sorry about the sun. It's got like I have like a raccoon mask on. You can't even see my eyes, I don't think. So today, on the continuing series of the reality of survival, I want to talk about saws and particularly wire saws. You know, I think we've all had experience with getting these wire saws. They come in all these survival kits that you can buy online. I think I remember back in maybe the late 80s or early 90s, some of those survival knives you could buy. They would come with a little kit, and they always have like a little wire saw that came with it. And, for the most part, I think these things are probably junk, but we're going to try one out today. And then we're also going to compare it to the U.S. military wire saw, and it's a little bit different. So this one just feels like braided wire. That's it. I mean, I can rub my fingers on it, and it's not cutting me. And then it has, of course, a swivel built into it, and then just key rings, right? All familiar with those. Well, this wire saw, pretty beefy, a lot different, stiff. I can rub my fingers on it, but it's a little toothier than the other one. And then it's got these adjustable pins, so you can actually remove this wire and replace it with another one. There's a spare wire in that little baggie that I showed, and then it has these hard rings, not split rings, solid rings. So it's definitely a lot more solid than it should be. Now, you look at the illustration on this. Take a look at that. It's not showing it using in my fingers to cut down a tree. It's showing it being put on a stick used as a bow saw. And I believe that is really the main intent of these wire saws, that they're to be used as bow saws. But everybody sees those rings and they want to, stick their fingers in them and use it as a wire saw to cut with their hands. And I think what's going to happen is, I'm predicting this, that if you do it that way, you're going to break the saw pretty quickly because you're creating more of a bend in the wire, and you're also creating more friction that way, and heat buildup, and then the heat is breaking the wire. So this is what the package says. The saw is capable of cutting metal, wood, and plastic in any direction. For best results in using saw, string as shown in diagram above or loop around the object, keeping blade as straight as possible. If blade breaks, I can't read that word, it's obscured. Thumb screw, reinsert blade, retighten thumb screw, use end slot to loosen and tighten thumb screw. And this is saw hand finger grip type MB-2, Best Way Products, Gardenia, California. One each. So this is what would come in a pilot survival kit, I believe. I don't know where you can get these things. You'll have to look for them online. I haven't looked in a long time. I'm lucky I have one. I've never used it. So we're going to try it today. We're going to make a bow saw with this thing and see how it does. Now remember what it said, keep wire straight as possible. That's the key, I think, in this, is making this into a real bow saw and not trying to do something with your fingers and wrapping it around a log and sawing that way, but we'll see. Now we're going to need a sapling to do this, because you want green wood. So this is all I have. I think we're going to have to use the finger hole method just to get the tree down, or I can cut with my knife. Let's do the finger method and see what happens. This is, I think, most people try with these saws. It's already sticking in the wood. This is the cheap saw. binding up in it. That's all right. So I had to use the very tip top of that sapling because the wood has to be able to bend. There has to be some give to it. And of course, the thicker the wood, the lower on the sapling I got, it would break every time I try to bend it. And this has a little bit of natural bend to it. So what I'm discovering is you still need to notch an end of this to make this work. So you're going to need some type of tool on you, a knife, because you're not going to want to notch this with the saw. That's going to take forever, and it's not going to work. So now I'm losing my tension on it already. Stupid wire saw. So there it is. And it's not staying on. Found a whole bunch of field garlic. Tons of it over there. But it's a little small, so I'm gonna let it get a little bit bigger before I start harvesting it. All right. Round two. This is a little bit of a tougher branch. I've got this kind of bush growing in my backyard, and it's pretty tough stuff. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to bend this better and create more tension on this saw. If I can't get this to work, then I'm giving up, and I'm calling this whole survival saw a big failure. You know, if I had my Opinel pocket saw, I would have all kinds of firewood done by now. I mean, I understand why these wire saws are in these Air Force kits, because they don't take up any room. So if you're a pilot, you know, you've got to have everything in a vest. They just don't have that much room. They got to save weight. So these little survival saws are probably the way to go, but my God, I don't think they're ideal. I wouldn't want to depend on one for cutting wood. Just the setup alone is taking too long. Finding the right bent branch that has enough tension in it that's going to bend but not break is it's a pain in the butt. I'm not enjoying this at all. Okay, one more time. Do it between the legs like this. Come on, baby, stretch. Woo. Okay, got it. That is tension too, man. That is a lot of tension on that thing right now. That is probably ideal. I don't think you can get anything tighter than that. That's that. I'm gonna play a little song for you. It's called Survival Saws Suck. Survival saws, they suck. Wouldn't want to depend on them. I'd be out of luck. Much rather have a silky with me. Cutting firewood all day is neat. Survival saws suck. Survival saws suck. Survival saws suck. Okay. So, got a proper bow saw built with the military survival saw. Let's take it to a big piece of wood and see if we can actually cut through this thing with it without it busting or whatnot. This is a formidable piece of wood for sure. Woo-hoo-hoo. That is hot. Red, red hot. So that wire is heating up. Cutting, but it's taking forever. It's going to take you forever to cut through this size of wood. I mean, this is, what, 2.5 inches in diameter? Maybe 3 at the most. Yeah. Didn't even break where it's supposed to break. I don't know. Okay, enough of that. All right, let's wrap this whole thing up. Okay, these wire saws, they suck. They suck bad. I mean, if you was in a pinch and you really had to use one, yeah, fine, but I would not want to depend on it at all. It took too long in these woods to find the correct, you know, sapling or stick that bent properly, that was the, you know, gonna work without breaking, because you have to get tension on that thing for it to really cut well, as you saw in that last demonstration. Once I got it on the correct stick, it worked, but holy cow, the work that you have to go into it, it's not worth it. So there are better options out there, and small options too. I mean, the Open L saw, you've seen this in some of my videos before, it's very small and lightweight, and it would have cut through that 3-inch hard log easily. It would have cut through that much quicker than the survival saw. So I didn't even bother to try the cheap one, the cheap survival saw. I know it's going to break, and I'm actually, honestly, I'm just frustrated and tired of messing with these stupid things. I got the military one to work. I think this is probably about the best tension you're going to get on one of these things. Like I showed, it is tight, like a guitar string. So, but dang, it is not worth it. So if you got these in your kit and you're depending on it, forget about it. I don't know, maybe you have more skill than I do. I just don't have the patience to mess with something like that. And that's kind of what it's all about anyway with survival kits. You don't want things to be harder for yourself. You want them to be easier. They should be taking all of the frustration out of it and making it just easy, so you can get done what you need to get done and not worry about stuff like that. So lightweight option for a pilot, but for a woodsman, I pack a little bit bigger and bring a pocket saw of some sort. I mean, heck, even here, let's just look at this by comparison. Here's my Victorinox Farmer, which has, get it out here, a saw on it. That would have done better than the wire saw. And you know, the first video I did in this series, the Reality of Survival Part 1, I think I made a statement about, well, I don't need pocket tools like a Leatherman and stuff like that. That's not going to really come in handy. I'm going to take that back. That is a mistake. I think having a multi-tool that has a saw, a little saw like this on it, is better than nothing, and certainly better than the wire survival saws. And if it doesn't weigh that much more, why not take it? So I'll retract that statement for sure. And that's what this is all about. It's about learning. It's about trying stuff out and seeing what works. And a gigantic bird just flew over. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Please like, subscribe, and share. And once again, thanks for coming along on this journey with me. And we'll see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.